Howdy, howdy, this is Creative Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to cover round one predictions for the Thor and King Groot arenas. So if you're familiar with my prediction videos, you know the first thing I like to do is figure out how these new arenas stack up to previous arenas in terms of like which cluster, which similar grouping would they fall into. And if you've seen my arena preview video for King Groot and Thor, you already know the answer to this. 4-star and 3-star arenas fall into two groups. You're either a new champ or old champ. Thor, it's pretty clear he's an old champ. And then when it comes to the 4-star basic, it's a little bit more difficult because you got to kind of gauge the interest of the community for this 4-star basic arena. And so that's either high, medium, or low. And I think King Groot's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be somewhere between low and medium. So we're just going to go ahead and round up like I typically like to do, and we'll call it medium. So when we look at recent midterm results or medium tier results, you can see that it's as high as X23. Where she came in, her first round arena cutoff was at 3.63 million with 11% tier cutoff at 1.65. Then you look at Psylocke on the lower end where you saw 2.7 million with 11% tier cutoff at 1.56 million, 1.56 million that is. And then most recently with Angela, we saw her come in at 3 million with a 11% cutoff at 1.59 million. When we head over to some recent old tier results, you can see there's some fluctuation there where you have Crossbones at 8.7 with the top 10% at 4.4 million. Then you look at Abomination coming in, his first round cutoff at 7.85 with the top 10% at 4.4 million. And then most recently with Nightcrawler, we saw his first round come in at 9.2 million with the top 10% at 4.3%, or sorry, 4.3 million. And then when you look at the 11% tier for all of these, they're all right around that 1.9 to 2 million range, sometimes creeping up to 2.1 million. So, one of the things I was talking about before and what I've started with the arena preview videos is basically using this as an opportunity for you, the community, to voice your opinion of how you think these arenas are going to fall. And then when it's not crystal clear with the 4-star basic in terms of gaining or kind of gathering the interest or determining the interest of the community, well, what better way than to ask you? So here's some of your thoughts on the 4-star basic arena for King Groot. What will King Groot 4-star basic first round cutoff be? The options were 3 to 3.5 million, 3.5 to 4 million, and 4 million plus. Once you get to 4 million plus, that gets you into the hood range. And you can see overwhelmingly the community out of the 213 votes, 63% had him falling in the 3 million to 3.5. So it's closer to Angela. But when you look at some of the comments, some of you think it might even be lower. When you look at Frank, he's saying it's hard to see King Groot going higher than Angela or X23. He doesn't view him as a very useful character. This is very similar feelings, if you will, that there's been shared a lot through a lot of the comments that I've been reading. And then Vinny, I think, says it best. I cannot see him being more than Angela. Again, kind of repeating what Frank was saying. And just having the Groot in the name automatically lowers the cutoff. And that might very well be true, but it's clear the community, at least based off of the input that I've read, feels like he's going to be somewhere closer to Angela, maybe even falling down to Psylocke levels. Now, when it comes to Thor, what will Thor's 4-star feature first round be? It's kind of a split crowd, almost a even across the board from 7.5 to 8 million, 30% there, 8 to 9 million at 40%, and 9 million plus at 30%. When you see it, Alexandra Drew Weiss's input definitely won't go past Nightcrawler, 8 to 9 million, and then you got Egon saying 9 million plus. Valor could play a big part in it. And I think this is a very important key here, with the Valor could play a big part in it. We don't know what Valor is going to do. This is going to be the first time that we have a 4-star feature arena, regardless if it's an old or new champ, where now the Valor currency comes into play. And based off of what I'm seeing right now across the community and looking at the Valor leaderboard, there's going to be a lot of competition for those top positions, and given there's only 800 that are going to get that rank reward for the 4-star feature, I think there's going to be a lot of competition. I think maybe it might even blow away any old champ clusters that we've seen before and go even much higher kind of thing. How high? You'll have to wait here to see on my predictions. But anyway, if you just look at the historical again, if we just assumed everything was the same, which again, like I was just saying, for the four-star feature, we really can't. We really don't know yet. But anyway, if we but the three-star feature and for the four-star basic mid, we have a good feeling, right? Especially for the three-star feature. That's why I didn't even bother to ask the community questions. It's pretty much similar, anywhere from 673,000 to 714 for the cutoff of the champ. And then there is some fluctuation, most recently with the Nightcrawler Arena for that 11% shard tier, but for the most part, it's right around 500,000. When we jump over here to the middle to the four-star basic mid, you can see at the high-end numbers, and these are very similar to those same numbers that I was looking at before. You can go to 3.6 million all the way to 2.7 million. But the good news is for the 11 to 25%, it's pretty much flat anywhere between 1.65 and 1.5 million. And lastly, over on the left, when you look at the four-star feature old champs, again, it's kind of hard. I mean, we got to take these trends with a grain of salt just because Valor is brand new. We don't know really the impact. But just looking at the past results, again, you can see Falcon all the way at 6.9, then Nightcrawler most recently with that 9.2. The good news, again, when it comes to the tier shard, or to the shard tiers, 3.3 to 4.2 million for the old, and the 11% anywhere from 2 million down to 1.9 million. Now, again, these tiers, even the shard tiers, will likely be impacted and pushed up a bit if Valor has the impact I think it will. So, with that being the case, let's jump into my round one predictions. Starting first with a four-star feature all the way on the left. I think we're going to see 12 million, and that might be undercutting what we actually might see. I think there's, with only 800 positions, the top 800 getting the extra Valor points, rank rewards, I think we're going to push it way above anything we've seen before for old champs. I don't think it's going to get anywhere to new champ numbers, 15 million plus kind of thing, but I do think we're going to be kind of in that 12 million range. It's really hard to say, though. This is just a hunch. So kind of take this with a grain of salt. You saw the historical numbers, and if you only just play to those 9 million, 8 million to 9 million range, feel free. But I really do think Valor is going to have an impact, and this is a place where people who are trying to shoot up that leaderboard might feel like they can really get an advantage if they grind out the arena more than other folks. Now, when it comes to the top 10%, because of that Valor pull up, I think we're going to see 4.7 versus that 4.5 range. And the same case with that 11% tier, I think we're going to see it closer to 2.1, 2.2 million. Now, when we come over to the four-star basic, I think it's going to be right around Angela range. So even though she was at 3 million, I'm going to say there could be a little bit of, even though the top tier of the four-star feature is going to push that number up high, I think there could be some mid-level folks who typically would play in the four-star feature but don't want to kind of compete for that top 800 seat, might come down over to the four-star feature, or sorry, the four-star basic arena, and not push it up too tremendously. As you can see here, it's still in that 3 to 3.5 million range. I think he's going to come in 3.2, but wouldn't be shocked if it's actually around the 3 million number. And then with 11 to 25%, we're looking at 1.65, pretty much status quo. And then lastly, same thing with the three-star feature over here on the right. I think it's going to be kind of status quo around that 710,000 mark, with 11 to 25% at 500,000. And so with the grind target in mind, so again, these are predictions based off of past results, assuming those trends kind of continue. So if to go above those past results, as exceptions can occur, here are my recommended grind targets. 13 million for the four-star feature. Again, it's hard to really read because we haven't had Valor before, so we're actually going to see for the first time here with this, but I think it's going to definitely push these numbers higher with the top 10% at 4.8, and if you really want that 11% tier for the four-star feature, you better push up to about 2.3, 2.4 million. Now over here to the four-star basic, 3.4 million should be fine for King Groot, and the 11 to 25% at 1.8 million. And lastly, with the top 10% for the three-star feature, 730,000 should be fine with 11 to 25% at 525,000. Now again, these grind targets and predictions are all for the veterans bracket. That means your account's been open for more than 61 days. If your account is a newer account, here's the beginner bracket and intermediate bracket ranges. Again, these are just kind of general guidelines, just because there's not enough historical data, despite all the great feedback coming in from the community. I appreciate that a lot. Please keep, if you're in the intermediate or beginners bracket, please continue to share your results as you're grinding through the arenas. That's going to just give me more data to help future players with their arena grinding early in the early stages of newer accounts. But anyway, you can see here for the beginners bracket, the three-star feature with this type of old champ, you can get around 245,000. The four-star basic, 1 million. Now it'll be interesting again. The 4-star feature if this 1 million is going to be driven up even for beginners accounts, because it does stage the valor that's given up, but beginner accounts can still earn valor from the 4-star feature. So I think that 1 million will probably be closer to like 1.3, 1.4 million. The intermediate bracket, I think you're going to look at 3-star features coming in at 650, the 4-star basic coming in at 1.4 million. And again, the 4-star feature, a typical old champ might be closer to 1 million. I think now you might be 1.4, 1.5 to get that valor. So anyway, these are my thoughts on the predictions for the new King Groot and Thor arenas. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Please throw them on down there. If you have any questions or around my predictions or grind targets, please throw them down in the comment section. We can talk about them as well. And if you like this video, I really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos that I have in the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great day.